Hey everyone, Depressy are here with another Langrisser Mobile Apex Arena. Not much to talk about this one because there's really I'm only doing one match. I've been kind of busy as always. A few things to point out about this box though. It had two characters that were in purely for ban baiting. Essentially, ban baiting is just where their purpose is just to soak up the opponent's bans. It's kind of it's interesting because it means you don't actually have to fully build a character. As long as it's a top tier character, most people will ban it just to be safe, which is what I did. I banned their Omega, and I'm gonna immediately ban their Zerata next because I didn't want to deal with assassins. This box is a little bit interesting. I won't say good, but it's interesting because it is a 2-4 setup, but the 2 is healers and the 4 is tanks instead of the other way around. So all they have is Tiaris and Liana as healers, and then they have a bunch of tanks. They got Amelia, Ledin, Juggler, and Landius here. So, I'm pretty much going to assume that I'm going to get nothing but a bunch of tanks trying to steamroll me, which I've fought before and I'm not too concerned with. As always, I grab Estelle because Estelle is amazing, and her little 3 skill buff is really, really good. And, let's see. Sorry, I got a message there. They ban my faction buffers. Of course, they get rid of Listel because always they grab their Liana. Ban their other assassin, their Listel. Grab Claret. They ban my TRS, which is a pretty good call because Claret with TRS is just nasty. They took Amelia. This really kind of confused me. I mean, my only guess is they took Amelia because Amelia has the ability to first strike whenever her opponent has less defense than her, no matter who's attacking. But since the only faction buffers that she has for Amelia is well, the ones you guys are already familiar with, Luna, Shafaniel, and then if possible you can actually bring Leon as a Empire faction buff here. So of course I went straight for the Princess faction buffers because she was majority Princess. I grabbed Yulia because she let me, and you should never let anyone pick Yulia. They banned my second and third healer, so I'm left with only one healer. They grabbed more tanks. I'm not too concerned. At this point, I banned any remaining possible threats physically. I mainly did Sherry and Leon. Leon mainly for their three skill abilities now, because those are very, very annoying. But also Leon had the faction buff for Amelia, and I'd rather not have every tank have their own faction buff. So grab Iris. They grab Bozel. So at this point, I was like, all right, well, I'll get rid of Lana, and I got rid of TRs because I did not want to deal with any additional healing. And then, of course, as always, I get left with usually one mage, so I grab Rachel. And they, of course, it's going to be 3 tanks in their nuker. Now, this is my second attempt to record this because I forgot to turn on battle scenes. So, as always, I start with Claret staying in place so I can expand my range. And then I kind of see what we got here. Pretty much, Liana and Amelia have no faction buff. It's not a big deal for Liana, but it's kind of important for Amelia because she kind of needs tanks need their faction buffs. Period. Landius can buff himself, Juggler's buffing himself, and Bozel's buffing himself. So it's good that they can buff themselves, but it does take up a lot of skill slots for just faction buffs when they could be used for other abilities. So that's why you generally try to keep your group themed around a couple of factions. So the only thing Amelia can do right now is get Holy Guard up, and that's what will activate her. It'll make her attack become essentially 1.5 times her M defense, and then of course she'll be able to, expand her guard range. Also, she can counter attack at range, just like Landius can. Also, Landius and Amelia both have self-reses, so it's a repeat of that one fight I did. In fact, it's almost exactly the same. Actually, I think it is the same. It is the same setup. I fought this build before. So I was pretty confident about pushing forward. There was, of course, the act again combo with Bozel, but if that happened, I would be able to kill Bozel afterwards, so I wasn't too concerned about it. So just pushing forward, I went ahead and put up Dolly. I'm keeping Iris back because she's not immune to silence, so I was just keeping her distance for now, just in case Darkhold does come. Pushing forward, tapping out the Phoenix Wave just to become immune to debuffs, just so I don't have to deal with Bozel's nonsense. I was also trying to bait Bozel to attack, but it didn't happen. Instead, Amelia moved forward. Amelia is immune to fixed damage, and I'm going to hit first struck, but it didn't do anything, because I reduced damage when attacking. Didn't kill her, but I get a second strike, and that second strike is Roar, which is going to remove all the buffs that she put up. So now, her damage is abysmal. She can't counter at range anymore, and she's pretty much just gonna die very soon. So prayer went up. That was kind of what I was waiting for, because now I'm gonna go ahead and move in and do Arcane Blast. Not really for the damage, but for the debuff. Arcane Blast does a 30% debuff to M defense, which is going to weaken Bozel by a lot. Words are hard sometimes, but yeah, 30% is pretty important, especially when I'm using Rachel and Yulia here. So Bozel goes ahead and throws out the black hole. Now, like I mentioned, Estelle's completely immune, so no debuffs for her. But I did get fully suppressed here. It was at minus 30% M defense, mobility down, passive disabled, active disabled. And then Rachel here, of course, has passive disabled, can't receive buffs, and damage dealt is decreased. Not a big deal. This is why I held Iris back, so she can move in and do mass heal and release or remove one debuff. Iris is not very good for removing debuffs, and her accessory right now is just the teddy bear, which doesn't help with debuffs. Went ahead and moved in. This is not going to do too much damage simply because these are spears and my unicorns are have. But at this point I'm not really concerned. Langrisser tried to move in to get some hits in, which did a bunch of damage, but I was at full health, so I could self-res and I self-heal. I mean, all it did was just hurt him. All I'm really concerned about is this Bozel and this Dark Reaper. That's pretty much it. Like, Langrisser can't do anything because I have spears and Juggler's physical, but like, if there's anything that my tanks are good at, it is they're very good at dealing with physical attackers. So I'm pretty much good to go at this point. Went ahead and popped my top tier skill to finish off Amelia here. Her self-res was already used, so she's just gone. It also pretty much locks Langrisser down. And thanks to the hat that Yulia is wearing, I got to remove all of Bozel's buffs. So he lost all of his buffs, and he was down 30% of his M defense. So it just, even though Estelle has practically no resistance to magic, the Dark Reaper just couldn't do enough. And so at this point I was pretty much safe for a little while. Went ahead and took this as an opportunity to go ahead and finish off their healer, while at the same time healing and removing buffs. Go. So here comes B-Shock, but this is an attack on 30% defense terrain, so it literally is not going to do anything. So I went ahead and attacked Juggler. This is not going to really do much. Did a little bit of damage, but nothing significant. But it did proc a debuff for my hat. And with this, I'm going to go ahead and soften up Langrisser. He self-reses, so now there's no self-reses left. Went ahead and moved in to Whirlwind Staff. Just to tap and do some damage. And at this point, he gave up. At this point, I would have moved in, healed my my Estelle, and at that point, it was just going to be a matter of time. All I had to do was just keep killing each unit, and every unit I killed would remove the buffs from the other, and it'd just be over. So, sorry if it's a little short video, but like I said, I've been kind of busy and tired, and it's kind of nice to be able to do a quick video for once, since I usually do 30-minute, an hour-long videos on my other series. So, I am the Depressed Dior, and just real quick to show off where I'm at, I am literally 2 points away from Gold 2. I would like to hit Gold 2, I'll probably attempt it tomorrow, but well, tomorrow my time. Tomorrow your time's gonna be Tuesday. But anyway, see you guys next time.